Okay, in the previous video, I was taking a look at um, drag and drop chords from Suggester 2 to Helium. So this is an update that it does work. However, the way it works is from pulling actually directly from the chord suggestion itself. Now, I'm going to say up front, I don't care for this method because when I'm putting chords together, I want to hear how they sound in order first to make sure it's what I want before I play it. This is a little different with scalar because I'm usually playing from the keyboard the chords to trigger them. However, in this case, you wouldn't be doing that. You would actually be just dragging it straight from here over and then dropping it on the line. Now, the beauty of it is the way they did it. Let's pick a different chord actually. With this yellow line that you see on the screen, that's so nice to be able to line up stuff. And if you need to transpose, because you could leave this on select, you could always just select which one you want and then transpose it down, right? I think is that an octave? No, that's one step. That just completely changed everything. I have to see what that is. Very interesting, but it works. That's the key. So maybe that's how you transpose it down. It's like that. Huh. Interesting. Let me see. Maybe I didn't select all the notes. That's probably why. All right. Nope. That's just transposing, I guess, the way it... Interesting. Okay, so it does work. Let's do one more test. This time we'll use what's the other one? Atom 2. For those that like to use Atom 2. So let's go MIDI. Now Atom, you have to run it inside of AUM or a DAW of choice. And we'll still use slide over. So let's do this. We'll go ahead and close out Helium. And then we'll just do slide over for, because the only thing is with AUM, here we go, AUM, it does not work in slide over, Lord, split view. Couldn't get my words out there. So you cannot drag it from here, is what I was trying to do in the video. So let's see if it works from here. No, it does not. So Helium, 4 pockets, that's one up for you, for sure, because we're not going to get that probably in Atom anytime soon that I know of. So Helium for the win. Might start using it a few times when I need to use, when I'm doing something with chords like this where I want to actually plug the chords in. Usually I prefer to play it with tonality like I did in the previous video I showed you guys, that I'd prefer to play the chords. So if I have to drag them in this case, this would be a really good option. And then all you have to do is go ahead, and I don't know if you guys know this, but the volume can be changed with the up and down motion. Let me show you with the mouse, because otherwise it could be confusing if you don't see my mouse on here. Okay, so see how the volume or the intensity, so if you want to vary that intensity, you could do something like this. I'm just showing you. I didn't mean to move that. There you go. The other option is down here. You could do edit the, I think is it edit? No. It's right here, velocity. So usually you see the notes. Let me just drag another one over here. Maybe like right here. There you go. So I guess because this is on the line, you can't see the notes on the first one for whatever reason. But if you touch one, this is one option, I think. You can adjust individually, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, each one. For the sake of time, for me, I would rather, if I'm gonna do it, I'd rather adjust it on here. You know what would be cool that I was sitting there thinking about, and I don't know if Paul's thought about this or wants to add this to his device, but it would be cool if this had the ability to select all and randomize. I know you can do it in Atom 2, but I don't know if you can randomize selections in here. So I'll have to look into that and I'll get back with you on it if there was a way to do that, to randomize the velocities of these. I know they have a randomized tool, but this is to put in notes, like to randomly add some notes within the scale. And I'm thinking about the ability to randomize the actual notes that you plugged in on screen. Excuse me. But this would that would be pretty cool if you could do that. Just a feature somewhere in here within the velocity, maybe even add it down here at the velocity, where you could select the whole. See, because I know you can do that, but yeah, if you could select all the notes and then just randomize the velocity, that would be pretty neat. This is why I tend to play my chords in more, because you have a little more control, even in as I showed you yesterday in Scalar, when you're in this screen where you could play, being able to go to humanize and turn the timing and then the velocity, so you got some variation, and the fact that you can, yeah. So to me, that's a huge thing to have. Now, if you weren't in previous, I think I showed you this, but if you weren't gonna draw in the notes, let's say you get rid of these, you could always arm it, sync this to the DAW, and then you could play these in. Now, the only thing I hate is that I don't think the timing in here, when I'm not sure if in standalone it does it or if it, that's a good question. I actually now just thought about, if you go to the settings, play instantly, 1 bar count in. Let's do a 1 bar count in on there and see if it plays. Okay, see, I think it holds. Oh no. Oh, it does its own 1 bar count in. Interesting. You would think it would follow whatever the host does, but let's see. See if it starts playing. No. So that's not too good, because you're gonna, if that was the way you want to do it, you have to go, here's your count in. And it's probably gonna be off. So it didn't even record in. Hold on 1 second. Let me fix that by syncing the input from Suggester. You got to make sure you do that, by the way. You don't need that for just drawing them in, but when you want to play them in, you do. All right, so let's take that 1 bar count in off. And we don't really, well, we'll leave the instrument on. It doesn't really matter. All right, let's get into the settings. Go to sync rather, and just go play instantly, because if they're using their own internal 1 bar, that's not really gonna help. So let's turn AUM on there, see if it follows. Now let's try that. No. Okay. So okay. So you can see it's off. I mean, they're supposed to be a little off. But that's pretty bad. So you would end up having to go in and just not that adjustment, but what did it do? Nothing. Yeah, see, this is a lot more work than I personally want to deal with. So I'm just being blatantly honest about it. I would probably just drop them in and just adjust the notes at that point. If it's because the timing is a huge thing when you're playing chords, in my opinion. So in order to get the timing right, either I gotta use tonality and play them in, or I would have to just drag and drop, which obviously we know we can't do that way. So you kind of need to hear, and what's also not good about this is, or at least this method, in my opinion, is let's say this is the chord I want, but I want a different voicing. In order to get that voicing, I'm gonna have to go into here and see. I can't. The issue is unless you use chord builder. Okay, you could go to borrow chord. These are octaves or scales rather that you can borrow from to use in this same scale that you're in. But this isn't my main scale, so that's the kind of downfall I see with it, is that you don't have a host sync. It's not really synced to the host. I mean, it is on the tempo, but the play isn't. And so if they ever get the play to sync with the DAW, that would be a Suggester thing, by the way. That's not on Helium. But if Suggester got the, I might actually mention this to the dev to see, and maybe he knows there's already a way and I just don't know it. But if you can sync this play to the to your transport in AUM, then it would be a huge benefit, because now I don't have to do timing of starting it. I could just press play and it works. So if you know how to sync this, please comment in the bar below on how to sync them. I know it says sync here, but you guys just saw on a 1 bar sync, even if this is set to a 1 bar right here, pre-roll, and you press record, it does not sync. See, it doesn't trigger the play down here. So I don't know if we go settings. Let's go settings. Let's try one more thing. MIDI in. Let's turn on MIDI in AUM. Now let's see if that syncs it when you do it. We might have, this is my only other thing I could think of that may be the answer. All right, we got 3 chords in there. That's fine. Let's press play. Nope. So again, we need this play to sync with the transport in AUM. All right. Well, again, if you know how to make this work, please comment in the section below. It's just something I'd like to learn, as I'm sure others want to know. And that's it. So again, this video was primarily focused on, you can put in or drag and drop in chords from directly from Suggester rather into Helium. That's a beautiful thing, and yeah, we definitely like that for sure. All right, well, I'm out until the next one.